Welcome to Maui Wellbeing. I'm counselor and hypnotherapist Mary Beth Tyson.
And I'm Eric T. Richter, publisher and editor of Maui Vision magazine. On Maui Wellbeing, we feature health professionals and places on Maui where you can go to become your best, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Plus, we get to sample the people we interview, what they do, so that we can share our experiences with our viewers.
Today, we're at the Temple of Peace International Spiritual Center in Haiku, Maui. We'll be interviewing and experiencing sessions with ministers and healers, Reverends Kedar and Shelley St. John. Reverend Kedar St. John is a minister, spiritual counselor, teacher, energy medicine practitioner, and founder of the Temple of Peace International Spiritual Center in Haiku. He's also a musician and singer of devotional songs and ecstatic chants. Welcome, Reverend Kedar.
Thank you, Mary Beth. I'm really glad to be here.
And Reverend Shelley St. John is a registered nurse, Reiki master, esthetician, colon hydrotherapist and instructor, interfaith minister, alchemical hypnotherapist, Jinshin Jitsu practitioner, mother, and wife. That's a lot. Welcome, Shelley.
Thank you.
Kedar, can you tell us a little bit about the services here at the Temple of Peace?
Well, we've been doing the Temple of Peace celebrations since 2000 officially. And every Sunday morning at 10:30, we have a wonderful trans-denominational service. It's based on universal principles, very similar to that of Science of Mind, to Unity, to Agape International Spiritual Center, Vedanta. We are a hybrid of this type of activity in the New Thought, Ancient Wisdom movement. And we have a lot of wonderful things that go on here at the Temple of Peace. We have classes, beautiful metaphysical bookstore. In fact, we have the only metaphysical bookstore on the island. We have a beautiful spa in the back, one where people can come and just enjoy the peace that's here at the Temple of Peace. And we also are planning in the future to reopen our wonderful restaurant. And so it's really a full chakra ministry. I like to say that we actually begin in the basement, and that's Shelley's department.
And what time do services start?
Services start at 10:30 and finish at 12 with a wonderful potluck feast.
On Sundays?
On Sundays.
So it looks like you nurture people, body, mind, and spirit on
we
all
do,
levels,
on
definitely.
On all levels, yes.
Shelley is a nurse for 35 years. You integrate your ministerial work with many hands-on healing approaches. Today we're going to focus on colon hydrotherapy, since that's what I'll be experiencing. So, Shelley, exactly what is colon hydrotherapy, and why is it a good idea for people to fast and cleanse their internal systems?
Thank you for that question. And colon hydrotherapy is the removal of the buildup of waste that can accumulate in the large intestine. And what happens is, over the years, as there's internal, external toxins, and there can be a buildup. And so by using our disposable tubes and FDA-approved equipment, the water is gently infused in the colon, and the colon is releasing by natural peristalsis, so it's improving the muscle tone, and people end up feeling more relaxed, more peaceful, cleaned out. 70% of your immunity is in your colon. So by doing colon hydrotherapy, you're helping your body physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, preventing disease.
How did it develop?
It's been around since the 14th century BC. It was used and recorded in Egyptian books and in museums. Also in the 1700s, the French would do 2-3 enemas a day. And then in the early 1900s, with the development of rubber and plastic, we ended up having from enemas to colon therapy. And there's a great quote from Dr. Kellogg, who invented the Kellogg cereal, in 40,000 cases documented in the Journal of American Medicine in 1917. In 40,000 cases, only 20 needed surgery because he had them change their diet, exercise, and enemas.
So it was pretty commonplace and used in hospitals up till about the 1960s, and then it kind of became an alternative treatment after that. And I know it's been used by Ann Wigmore at the Hippocrates Health Institute and the Optimum Health Institute in Lemon Grove, California. And how is your program similar to what they offer at
Very
those places?
similar. We're really lucky because my wonderful husband, who's a health practitioner healer, together we have different modalities, because I put myself in my sweeties through cleanses for 12 years, we have used principles that are in the Optimum Health, that are in Omega and different institutes. So then we're small, we're mom and pop, so we're able to hold your hand through whether you do cleansing, fasting, because I've done 21 days master cleanse, I've done fasting, juicing, and the wonderful 10-day cleanse here as well, where we're using soup and holding your hand through a beautiful whole process, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically helping people.
So how do people feel afterwards, after they finish?
Most of the time, people leave here feeling relaxed. In fact, they're amazed. They're not embarrassed, and also they feel more relaxed. Wow, am I glad I did this? Their skin looks better. They lose some of the inches and pounds, and they can breathe deeper. Their vision and their hearing people have commented their hearing and vision have improved. So there's many benefits. Skin has cleared up, because if you have the internal and external toxins moving through the body and backing up, like a sewer system, and you get those toxins out, you can breathe better and feel better.
Wonderful.
It's amazing.
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, we have an enteric brain, a second brain in our belly. And when the water moves through the colon, it actually releases serotonin into the body, which immediately rushes to the brain. You feel fantastic. I get some of my greatest inspirations on the board.
Yes, can I clarify that?
Sure.
That there are receptors in the brain and in the colon. Then they have found brain cells from the stomach down through the colon. And so the brain, with these receptors, there's serotonin that gets released, like in your brain, and it gets released through a colon therapy session, where that doesn't happen in enema. So people are feeling uplifted. So you have toxins being stirred up and being released, where you can feel maybe slightly nauseated. And then when you have the new serotonin oxygen flow, that's what's supporting people to feel really good and great. And that's why people are surprised we even have fun doing colon therapy.
Is there any worry about losing the beneficial bacteria out of your colons at all, or do you do a replacement on that, or there's a question about that? So
yes, no, there's not a
that?
question. No, a lot of people misunderstand. 70% of your immunity is in your large intestine. There's bacteria, acidophilus, and candida, 3 microorganisms, which makes up 70% of the immunity for your whole body. So you're losing very little flora and bacteria, the healthy kind, when we're doing colon therapy. What's more important is having the toxins in your body, getting them out.
Right.
And then when you have the new cleansing in your body, then we also give you acidophilus. You can take it through diet, through food, through capsules, and there's vitamin K and B vitamins that are created in your colon. So you're going to be able to digest better. You're going to be absorb your own nutrition better. And when you get rid of this toxic waste buildup.
Kedar, I'm really excited about my session, my energy medicine session with you. Where does this technology come from?
It's actually Russian space technology, and it's combined with the 5-element system of Chinese medicine and Ayurveda. So what we do in a treatment is, through your meridian points on your fingers and your toes, we actually measure the stress levels around your organs, both emotional and physical. And then the computer creates for me a 2-dimensional map that shows me exactly where that imbalance is. Chinese medicine, you're either in balance or you're out of balance. And so this is like the Rolls-Royce streamlined way of actually mathematically figuring out what's off and what's imbalanced. Then we have also 300 light and sound therapies on board the computer that we apply to certain meridian points in the body with a light applicator and a sound applicator, and that balances out the stress levels around the organs through the microcurrent system. Very advanced stuff. In fact, it was part of the longest human experiments of its kind. Over 432 days in space, the cosmonauts used this technology, and their organs were so balanced when they came back to Earth that they literally walked out of their capsule. And in regular cases, oftentimes they get the gurneys to take them out because
their muscles
is total muscle atrophy. So this is wonderful that we get to use this type of technology. And before it actually got released to the West, over 20,000 people had experienced it just in an experimental sort of stage. So now we're actually able to bring it to everybody.
And you have one of 40 machines?
One of 40 machines in the United States and Europe. So they're very, very rare, these machines, somehow or other by the grace of God. I'm called the techno shaman around here.
The techno shaman.
And these types of devices are magnetically attracted to me. I have lasers, cold lasers. I have all these amazing out-of-the-box type of, unusual type of therapies. But this is my favorite one.
How special for Maui that we have that technology here.
Yes, it's amazing. We're very, very fortunate. And some people, they only have one treatment. Some people have a series of treatments, and it's up to the individual. But I think all human beings love microcurrent. It increases the mitochondria around the cell, cellular structure, gives you more energy. So many different things. Relaxes you. It's the ultimate relaxer.
And it sounds like it's fun.
And it's fun, it is.
Color and light.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Well, I know our viewers must be curious on a personal level. How did you two meet and come to be working together? Shelley, you want to answer that?
Yes, I fell in love with my sweetie in Nepal. It was love at first sight, and that was 29 years ago. And then I brought her back to California, where I was working as a nurse studying holistic health. And then we came to visit Maui on a vacation, and we both fell in love with Maui and said, this is the place for us. And we met a lot of people who were into community healing centers, and somehow we got a call that this place was available. And so we got this place, and here we created our center.
Kedar, it sounds like it was quite a romantic setting where you two met.
It was. It was actually in a beautiful village called Pokhara in Nepal, with a 26,000-foot mountain in the backdrop, on a lake with 1,000 varieties of butterflies. So on the first day of spring, Shelley walked into my life. It was love at first sight. And the rest is history. Here we are.
Now you're in a permanent springtime.
That's right, permanent springtime, and still in love.
True.
It's wonderful.
Thanks for staying with us here on Maui Wellbeing. We just interviewed Reverends Kedar and Shelley St. John at the Temple of Peace, and now Eric is receiving colon hydrotherapy from Reverend Shelley. So what is this big machine here, and what are you doing?
This is a wonderful system. It's the open gravity, and it's FDA approved. The tubes are disposable. The water is fresh and clean. It goes through ultraviolet and carbon filters. And after the tube is gently inserted, it's very small. It's the size of a straw, and it only goes in a few inches. And then the water is gently going in by gravity, and the colon is working and releasing the buildup of toxins. Because we have internal and external toxins from the environment, chemicals, preservatives, and we also have the toxins from pharmaceuticals. People's household cleaners go into the water supply, and then we have internal toxins. So if we're not having purified water, if we're eating food with parasites, if we're having food that's the white bread, the white flour, the white sugar, alcohol, instead of the body really appreciates the whole foods, the real foods, the oils, the healthy fibers. So the water is going in gently up into the rectum, and the colon is a muscle, so it gently takes the water in and around, and it's gently contracting back out, and it's going to collect underneath in a tub. So the client's privacy is maintained, they're covered, and we have a hose on this side. At the end, I tell them how to clean up, and we'll get to hear from Eric how he's enjoying the session.
So does it go, how far, how
It's
big is
doing-
your big intestine, and how far up does
I
it
was
go?
going to just tell you that. It
Okay.
goes in the 5 feet and back out, and then so it's improving and increasing your muscle tone. So it's not only getting yours the toxins out, but it's going to strengthen your colon so you'll have better elimination. I hear this all the time from people. And water also goes in and up into the liver, portal blood vessels. Up in this corner, we have the liver at the portal vein. And so the water is going to be going in up and through the liver, the kidneys. That's why we're getting hydrated during the session. And it's going to be washing through your whole system, through your lymph, your cardiovascular, your lungs. So your whole body is being cleansed from head to toe. And it's being very gently done.
So I've gone for colonoscopies, and I've taken the stuff that they do, the lemon, whatever it is, and it seems like a lot has come out of me from that, from doing that once a year.
It will get a
And
lot
then-
of it.
And this will
Do you want to ask the
do
difference?
more than that, or?
Well, what's happening is a
Is that- so my colon
colonoscopy.
wasn't really that clean
You're
then?
drinking a liquid, and it's not really getting in the deep crevices. It's not going to get parasites, and it's not going to clean the body out emotionally. So we're really getting the receptors. We're also releasing the serotonin. So it's a
Well, I
major
can tell you
difference.
this is much more pleasant than taking that stuff for the
Yes, it's much more
colonoscopy.
pleasant.
That's
And
crazy.
people, that's the beauty. People can do a series of colon therapy sessions and do this and then go get their colonoscopy. That's what I did. I did a
Okay,
series
so
of
you
colon
didn't-
therapy sessions, and the GI doctor, my wonderful Dr. Manick, she said I can use her name, she was really impressed that I had one of the cleanest colons she'd ever seen. And I'm glad I did it because I had a few little cysts and one was precancerous. So I am all for preventative medicine and prevent cancer, prevent diseases, inflammation.
Well, if I knew I could do this versus doing that, I'd probably come here instead of doing that other process.
It's
So
good
was
for
I.
people to know.
I have a question too. When you talked about emotional release, my understanding is that there are trigger points on the colon that correspond to emotional states. Is
It's
that right?
true. It's true. And I have a chart on the wall here, and there's the kidney is the first point here, judgment and fear. Over here is the liver, and that's anger. So it gets stored in there from when we're in our mom's belly, from when we're 5 years old, 20 years old. And so we do a lot with emotional clearing. Also, I do massage on the belly.
Oh, okay, I was going to ask you about that.
I'm a certified instructor, and so I love teaching people. I do massage gently. Is that all right? Can I show a little
Sure,
sample?
absolutely.
And I work with, well, we can do it right on top of your clothing. I also I do use
Oh, that's
oils,
pushing.
and it's going
You
to
hit
help.
my funny part of my colon.
And you
Are
work
you
with
having
the
a laughter
person.
release?
So we do laugh and have fun doing colon therapy, and I use aromatherapy and sprays. Can I use the spray?
Sure.
And this is natural oils. So here's lavender and lemongrass. How does that feel?
Oh, that smells wonderful.
So we do oils, massage, and sometimes the client wants to have alone time. That's the beauty of this system, is I come in and out of the room, and I'm here as long as the client needs me, or I can come in and out. And I do want to say that I also have a closed system, so I stay with the clients the whole time. So it's unusual in Maui, and in the world, not many colon therapists have open and closed systems.
Some colon therapists have it so that you see the tube go across and you see all the junk coming out of you, and that's
Yes,
kind of gross.
that's my other system,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and you look while it's happening. This, we're going to take it apart at the end, and it's fun to look with gloves. I have gloves on and a stick
So you can
and
see
a
if there's
light.
any parasites too?
Yes, and I've seen worms, I've
Wow.
seen liver
Oh, wow.
flukes.
Wow.
We get to see if you're chewing your food good.
They used to have an advertiser that put on her colon therapy ad, so if you've got it in you, we'll get it out.
Oh, that's cute.
That's one of the
Is
things
that
I
yours?
said. That's me.
okay.
Oh, that's cute.
Milan Justman, she's the character too.
Yes.
So we will check back with you in a little bit. So stay tuned and we'll see how Eric enjoyed his session.
Thank you.
Thanks for staying with us. Eric, how was your session with Shelley?
It was really relaxing, and I could feel Shelley's loving energy. And I felt great coming here today because I've really been taking care of myself, but now I feel even lighter. So thank you, Shelley.
Thank
Shelley,
you.
How often do you recommend that people receive colon hydrotherapy?
Usually a series is recommended, and I help you figure it out when you come in. And people figure it out pretty quickly. So usually 3 sessions is a series, and some people go, oh, I know I need 5 to 10 sessions. And so we figure it out when you come in. But just remember, if you took 40, 50 years of eating junk food and you have 10, 20 pounds in your colon and a big pot belly, it's not going to be 1 session. So do the one to start with, and I'll support you and hold your hand through figuring it out. Thanks.
We're at the Temple of Peace in Haiku with Reverend Kedar St. John, and he's about to perform a quantum healing session on Mary Beth Tyson.
I call it a trivector experience. You're attached to the computer. I'm attached to the computer. I'm attached to you. You're attached to me. So what's happening here, in really an amazing sort of way, is not only am I taking measurements here, and this is how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to... In that moment that you heard that peep, did you hear that peep? Yep. I'm taking 60,000 calculations.
Wow.
In 20 nanoseconds, I'm taking 60,000 calculations, and the computer is working it out. It's figuring out what the optimum range is. Computer's the matrix. all right? And it is actually creating a two-dimensional map of the stress levels around all of your organs through your meridian system. And I'm accessing the meridian system through your fingers and through your toes. Every time you hear a little peep like that, I'm taking 60,000 calculations. At the end, it will actually give me a visual of which one of your organs were imbalanced, which one of the meridians was imbalanced.
And are there often more than one?
Oftentimes, yes. There can be multiples. And quite literally what's happening here is through the skin tension over the meridian point, this flat probe is sending a very, very slight frequency into the body. It's actually so small that it's 1/10 of 1 milliamp in size. 1/10 of a milliamp. That's so small.
How long did you have to study, or how do you learn how to use this? It sounds so complex.
I know. I actually worked as a volunteer with the Native Hawaiian elders for about 6 months, where I was seeing anywhere between 6 to 12 people a day, 6 days a week. And so by the time and I volunteered to do that, so by the time you finish doing that, you pretty much know the machine.
Yes, I'm familiar with that project.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just going to mention what I'm doing here. So this is the lungs, and then we have the large intestine, pericardium, triple here, heart, small intestine, and on the other side, I'll do the other side to keep you in balance here.
So they're the same points on both
The same
hands.
points on the hands. And then we go down to the feet, and what we have is the spleen, the liver, the stomach, the gallbladder, kidneys, and the bladder. The computer's also telling me exactly where to go. It's mapping. It's keeping very accurate records of where I'm going in the body, which is very, very helpful. So your element, of the 5 elements, you're Earth. Okay? So now we're going to balance.
I'm always Earth?
In this, yes, you're always Earth. Either you're hyper-Earth, hypo-Earth, or just Earth. And right now, your energy is a little hyper. Okay, so that means that we're going to balance that out a little bit. The first tool that we're going to use is called the beamer, and it's plugged into the sound port here. And can you point to your belly button for me? All right, we'll put that right there, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know what it sounds like, so our audience can hear what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like. Can you hear that high-pitched sound?
Wow.
Okay, so it's going inaudible now. This is actually a tiny little Tesla coil in here. It's a tiny little kit. It's actually going and making a spiral shape of the sound. It's going right into her belly button here, and it's connected to all of the organs. Right here, it's amazing. So now we're also going to use the light pen, and the light pen is I'm going to put right here.
So you're treating sound here and light there.
Right, we're doing it simultaneously actually. We're focusing on, in this particular case, the 5th chakra. And this is called the Chakratron 5. We have all sorts of chakratrons, we have all sorts of amazing stimutrons, setatrons, whatever it is. If you need to calm you down, we use the setatron. If you need to build you up, we actually bring in something that will build you up. And in quantum healing, less is more. In the quantum healing field, we use a very soft feather touch This is moving at the speed of light and at the speed of sound. Your body loves this stuff. Our bodies automatically understand light and sound. It's natural for us. When we bathe in beautiful, soft sound, we relax.
Yeah, I feel a lot calmer and more even.
That's exactly what it does. Calmer and even. Also, notice on the screen here, there's a little color section here. Those are color streams or color frequencies, vibrational frequencies, which have come together as what we call a remedy. A remedy. Not a remedy, a remedy. So from that scan and from that treatment, we found out that your heart meridian on the emotional side was a little out of balance. The small intestine was out of balance, and the kidney was out of balance. So we went ahead and we put the corresponding frequency on those meridians. And now if I look here, they're actually balanced. You can see, actually on this chart, when we first started, the red was a little jagged.
Right.
Which means that your energy was not flowing. And if you look at the top line, it actually is smoothed out. And if we looked at this in a three-dimensional way, we would see that the wave of energy is smoothed out. So that's one of the views that we look at.
When I said I felt more even, that's actually what that line shows.
exactly what it shows.
Right.
Let's see here. Basically, what's happening with this type of treatment is it continues on for another 72 hours. So everything is in motion, and everything will start to balance itself out, because what we've done is we put the highest possible digital signature into your body, and your body references that.
Right.
Okay.
So I'll continue to cook.
You're content. Well, not to cook, but let's say to evolve and to even out. Exactly. This is digital medicine. And we actually now have evolved from 8 years ago when this first was released. We've actually evolved it to now we can actually give people a digital prescription in the form of a CD, for instance, with a particular frequency on it. We can also send you home with a beamer, a loaner, where you can actually apply the frequency to your body on that particular meridian. You can energize water with the frequency and drink the water, and it will bring that energy, that frequency inside of you. It's amazing. It's like having a homeopathy system, but it's so pinpointedly accurate to you and to what's going on with you. That makes the big difference, and that's why I love this technology.
It was a fabulous experience, and it was fascinating to feel the light and the color and the sound going into the meridians, and I feel a lot calmer and more even, and I'm really excited to see what the next 3 days will bring as this progresses. So thank you, Kedar.
You're very welcome, Mary Beth. Thank you.
Well, we'd like to thank Reverend Shelley and Kedar St. John for being so generous with their time today and for offering so much to our community.
We'd like to thank Reverends Kedar and Shelley St. John for visiting with us today on Maui Wellbeing. If you'd like to know more about Temple of Peace,